York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Nick of Time Show here. Give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And the Knicks lose a thriller today in an overtime loss to these Lakers. They lose 115 to 122. There were some bright spots today, though. We saw some great first half play. We saw the ascension of a career high from RJ Barrett. And we saw a glimpse of what Julius Randle could be. But ultimately, this is a battle of two teams who are mediocre. And they played like it. Both of those guys having highs. Both of those guys having lows. The Knicks at one point had a 21-point lead. But end up losing the game ultimately because the Knicks be Nick. In the third quarter of doom, once again, catches up to the Knicks. And the Knicks lose to the Los Angeles Lakers despite a fierce comeback, 115 to 122, and we are going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it tonight, and I don't have a stats and a facts man tonight, so it's just going to be me reading all these crazy stats and the facts and breaking down to this game by myself. All right, before we even get into the game, you already know what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you support the channel, and also hit the notification bell so you get the notice when we are going on to talk about Knicks basketball. All right, let's get to it. Before I get to it too as well, shout out to everybody who's rocking with the KOT show. Shout out to Kellum Alejandro. Shout out to Agent Super Argo. Shout out to Fritz, best mind in the game. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Rich Gim. Shout out to Big Reaper. Shout out to Billy Blanco and everybody else who's rocking with the KOT show in this midnight game, talking this Knicks Lakers loss. All right, man. Today was extremely frustrating because the Knicks played how we wanted them to play since the beginning of the season. Right, we wanted these Knicks to pass the ball. We wanted these Knicks to play with pace. We wanted these Knicks to play with defense, and we were spoiled in the first half. First of all, the first quarter even, the Knicks scored 42 points in the first quarter, the highest scoring first quarter of the Knicks season, followed by a first half that had us cracking the 70-point mark, which was like the highest scoring first half of the Knicks season, only for them to let go of the rope in the third quarter. And there are lots of reasons why that happened. I'm going to break it down to you today. But first, it's the pace. It's the pace. The Knicks all season had the slowest pace in the NBA. And there was a stark difference between the first and the second half of the Knicks playing basketball. The first half, the Knicks actually pushed the pace on makes and misses. And a lot of that had to do with Julius Randle, man. Julius Randle is the catalyst for this Knicks team. And if today wasn't apparent, it was apparent today for real. We had a lot of success because Julius Randle was playing defense. Julius Randle was pushing up the ball. And Julius Randle was making quicker decisions in that first half. And that was a lot of reason why he was getting easy shots. We had 19 fast break points. 19 fast break points in the first half. 17 assists in the first half. I thought we was on our way to like a 40 assist game the way we were going. And it looked like we was going to have some record-setting nights. Also, RJ Barrett has 17 points in the first quarter. And he was looking like he's about the career high, in which he did. RJ Barrett, about the bod by himself, gave you 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists on the night. Shout out to RJ Barrett. But I feel like, this game really went awry. The game started to go awry a little bit in the second quarter, right? Because the first unit came in and they did their job. They did their job. They played defense, right? Evan Fournier was shooting well. It's funny because Evan Fournier's shooting so well right now that teams are starting to blitz him on pick and rolls and sending 2 players to him. And that was opening up a lot of offense for these Knicks. We saw a few times when Evan Fournier actually had some pretty great hockey assists. Evan Fournier would get double. He would pass the ball to Julius Randle. Julius Randle would dump a ball off to Mitch Robinson. Beautiful ball movement all that first quarter. We saw that happen twice, right? We also saw times when Julius Randle, he wasn't holding the ball. He was passing the ball around. He was getting doubled. He would spray the ball out, right? We saw that in that first half as well. But the second unit came in, and uncharacteristically, the second unit wasn't really moving the ball like the first unit was at first. And the 18-point deficit got cut to, I believe, 10, I believe. And then you saw how Tom called the timeout, and he started to regroup. I mean, you know what, Asu? You got to give it to these Lakers, man, because the Lakers and LeBron James, they were picking on some guys. They were picking on some guys in that second quarter, and like I started to say before, that's another reason why this game started to deflate a little bit in the second quarter, and why you didn't really see quickly at all in that second half. LeBron James and Reeves was playing a 2-man game for a lot of big chunk of that second quarter. And Emmanuel quickly was a victim to a lot of off-ball cutting from Reeves and back cuts from Reeves. And LeBron James was a maestro with the pass, and he was waiting patiently, picking apart the Knicks defense, really targeting quickly on Reeves. And he got quickly into foul. He got him a couple of fouls, and he took advantage of quickly altogether. And it's funny, LeBron... But, we were able to actually get the lead. We actually be able to build on the lead once the starters got back in. Right? Ultimately, we were able to push the lead and get 71 points. But once again, the third quarter came, and the infamous third quarter of doom started to happen. First of all, the second quarter, once the starters came back in the second quarter, you could already see with your own eyes. That defense started to deflate. Evan Fournier, he wasn't playing really hard on a defensive end. And a lot of times we say that happens because when he doesn't get the ball, he decides not to play defense. And you start to see him lose some steam on the defensive end. Julius Randle, he wasn't playing defense as hard in that second quarter as well. Maybe it's because he had 3 fouls and he was trying to stay away from it. But he wasn't playing defense hard in that second quarter as well. And if you're looking at the box score in the quarters, the Knicks scored 42 points in the first quarter to 29 points for the Lakers. 29 points in the second quarter compared to 27 in the Lakers. The Lakers were starting to figure the Knicks out. And the Knicks weren't doing the things that got them the lead in the first place, which is why we're in the predicament today. Third quarter comes. The Lakers have a new strategy. They put LeBron James on RJ Barrett, 1. 2, they stopped doubling Julius Randle. And they just go straight up ISO on Julius Randle. And when Julius Randle goes straight up ISO, that's when you start to see the ball movement stop. Because now he's trying to take advantage of the smaller guy on him, right? Because the Lakers were switching, and it was just like, you know what? We don't care if you're switching. You don't care if Westbrook is on you. We're going to have Randle try to beat you one-on-one. And the shots that were falling for Randle in that first half, because Randle had to go when he was hitting mid-range shots. He was hitting 3-point shots. The shots that were going in that first half wasn't going in the second half. And he was pretty much ISOing the ball. Look, we finished the first half, guys, with 17 assists in the first half. Third quarter, or 5 minutes left in the third quarter, we still were stuck on 19 assists. I'm sorry. We finished with 19 assists in the first half, and 5 minutes left in that third quarter, we were still stuck on 19 assists. These Lakers, and so that got us out of our offensive flow. The way they attacked our defense, the way they chose to let Randle go one-on-one, the way they put LeBron James on RJ Barrett, the way they got used to they got used to R.J. Barrett going left, and Anthony Davis adjusted to him going left, and he didn't have to really figure out the counter move yet while he was driving. The second thing is Malik Monk goes off for, I think it was 17 points or something in the third quarter. These Lakers once again they were targeting Kemba Walker, man. Targeting Kemba Walker. And it's apparent to me that it seems like the Kemba Walker days are coming to an end. Because Kemba Walker played 23 minutes a day. He was atrocious on defense. They were hunting him. Malik Monk's they were attacking him on switches. And then Malik Monk was just going off on Kemba Walker the entire third quarter. And it was atrocious. It was so... That's why you saw Alec Burks in that fourth quarter alone. No quickly benched in the entire second half. Kemba Walker benched after that third quarter. And then coach decides to go with Alec Burks in that second half. And the Lakers, man, the Lakers played that beautifully, man. They got us. They definitely got us. And a lot of that is the Knicks' fault, too, because we still, after seeing the success we had in that first half, we did not push the ball up. We didn't push the ball up. We didn't play the pace with defense, and we didn't execute. We didn't move the ball. And those are the third quarter of doom. That third quarter of doom, the Knicks only scored 13 points. Only scored 13 points. And to me, the third quarter of doom was really the game. That and the coach, once again, Tibbs, not making adjustments. Seeing that these Knicks were getting smacked in the third quarter, left that first unit in for the entire game, for the entire third quarter with no adjustments, which is insane, crazy insane to me. So F for Tom Thibodeau for the way he coached that third quarter. The bright spot to me and for everybody here has to be what R.J. Barrett did today. R.J. Barrett gives us a career high, 36 points on the night. Gunshots for R.J. Barrett. I saw some stats that was floating around that said R.J. Barrett is our most clutch player on the Knicks. And he showed it today. 46% from the field, 40% from 3, 36 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 turnovers. Shot 20, took most of the shots. And not only take most of the shots, you start to see that when the game was on the line, the ball was going to R.J. Barrett more. The ball was going to R.J. Barrett more. So you started seeing him going through pistol. You started seeing the offense run through him. You started seeing some nice decision making. Even though it didn't work out for him, I saw him have a nice pass to Mitch. Even though Mitch bobbled the ball and turned to a turnover. On ISO situations, I saw some nice footwork. He got a switch on Russell Westbrook. Was able to kind of head fake, fake the fadeaway, come back to the middle and finish over with his left hand over Westbrook. Nice work from R.J. Barrett. Also, a thing that I've been telling, I thought he should be working on all season. One of the low lights for him is creating separation and hitting that mid range. And he missed the mid range shot today. But he had a nice ISO situation where he got a good separation off the dribble and missed the mid range. Good shot, but missed the mid range. And that's, to me, that's gonna be the next step for RJ's ascension. Hitting those jump shots at a consistent rate from 3, getting that mid-range game to work the way you want to. Because as of today, the way that man is driving, he's in beast mode, man. He already seems to have a little bit of a counter to that drive where he kind of steps back in middle and does a fadeaway. He just needs to hit that more consistently. He just needs to do that a little bit more consistently. But R.J. Barrett he's rounding into form, and he's looking like the future of this Knicks. He's looking like the future for these Knicks. He's looking like he's taking the next step. If there's any good that's coming from today, is that R.J. Barrett is taking the next step, for sure. So shout out to R.J. Barrett for taking that next step. And I wish we'd have won this game. I wish we'd have won this game. It seemed like the Knicks was playing for their lives because you already saw, if you saw Mark Berman interview Julius Randle, he looked a little pissed that his name was even mentioned in trade rumors or whatever. It seems like in the first half anyway, these guys are playing with some purpose. But this team is what this team is, man. We're inconsistent. And part of it is on his team and part of it is on his coach. And we hopefully be able to get it together. But at the end of the day, good showing from R.J. Barrett. Shout out to RJ Barrett. Gunshots for him. Also, a nice showing from Mitch. He didn't do well offensively, really, but he battled all night. He had a load to handle with Anthony Davis. And when he was missing on the court and we saw Noel, you felt it. You felt it. You felt his presence missing. And when he was back on the court and battling, even though he was falling and he was winning all the battles, his presence was felt. Like, he had a really nice closeout to end the game, to close out on LeBron James 3 after RJ hit a clutch 3-pointer to tie the game. Mitch did a nice job closing out, so kudos to Mitch. I think he had a pretty positive plus or minus on the night. I think he might have had the highest plus minus of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Mitchell Robinson +8 on the night, highest plus minus of anybody on the team, and you can see his impact when he's on the team, man. Definitely see it. Did I hear the chant? Did the crowd chant for chant for Bodman? I didn't hear the crowd chant for Bodman. I did hear the crowd boo Russell Westbrook. So I don't want to hear no more Russell Westbrook trades coming in here. Russell Westbrook right now is kind of like Julius Randle West Coast, because they do not like him. When Russell Westbrook shot the 3 and the fans was like, nah, no, dude, I cringe, yo. I was like, man. That crowd has to be sapping the confidence out of Westbrook for real. And shout out to Westbrook because he's playing for our team today, man. He clanked 2 big free throws. So he might as well be a Knick, even though he wasn't traded here. He might as well be a Knick. Oh, they trying to find out of your yo. I was having connection problems. So I haven't seen you guys saying they chanted for RJ Barrett earlier in the chat. I was having connection problems. So I kind of missed the first few minutes of the game. I just saw that RJ hit some threes and Em hit some threes. But that's pretty much the rundown from the game for me. If you already know what to do. If you want to call in right now, 319-527-6241. If you want to talk Knicks basketball, Knicks Lakers, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. I know we have callers coming up, and I believe the first caller that we have for tonight is Reaper.
Hey, what's up, Jay Ellis? Thank you for taking my call. Yeah, it was an interesting game. Actually, I missed the first quarter. I started watching this game I think it was like 7 minutes left in the second quarter. I fell asleep earlier, took the family out for dinner, and came back and fell asleep.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, yeah, you got to take these naps now, man. You're older.
I know, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it's, you kind of have to put this on, Tibbs again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The one thing, obviously he didn't play today, but I remember when I was arguing with the other caller a few weeks ago, not playing Miles McBride, even if it's 2-3 minutes, because the problem with Miles, when he kind of had that bad game, was just because of, but just because he's not really used to, obviously, the league yet. And so
right.
He had that one good Houston game. But you can't just pull someone and just especially someone that young, and just eliminate him from, like, the rotation. And I just think right now it's really screwing us up because it's we just don't have any options at point guard. And so,
right.
In my opinion, Burks is not it. I just don't think he's a good option at point guard. And so I think that's really continuously keeps hurting us right now.
Yeah.
Look, I even agreed. I remember when Miles McBride had the bad game. He had a bad game.
Right.
He definitely felt like he was struggling running the offense, but you got to kind of like get him to play a little bit at a time.
I agree with you.
But the other thing, the reason, so that's on Tibbs, and then also of course rotate.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm
sure.
I'm gonna just interject one thing. I will give Burks.
Sure.
I will say this one thing. Putting Burks in the game did kind of cool off Malik Monk, because I think that's exactly what happened. Kemba was getting cooked to win Burks because you know what it Tibbs. Tibbs likes size on people, right? So that did slow down Malik Monk. So I'll give him credit for that, but I still do agree that you can't go heavy Burks long minutes because the pace does change, and he doesn't always he doesn't always do the right thing offensively. Although he had some moments, like the pass he made to Julius Randle on the cut for an easy deuce in the fourth quarter was good. He competed defensively. So I mean, Burks didn't have but he just shot terribly. 28% from the field, 2 or 7 from Alec Burks, 1 for 4 from 3. So offensively he was atrocious, but defensively he competed.
I agree with you. Actually, that's definitely a good point. I agree with you on that. So it's just the first thing, like I said, Tibbs, in my opinion, his lack of adjustments, or at least not enough adjustments in the third quarter.
I agree.
Obviously, and then of course, like because of his rotation throughout the year, it's just haunting us right now. But the other thing, I don't know if people are really paying attention to, is Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
He has been playing horrendous.
Yeah. He was bad.
Like it's so the crazy thing, so the defensive stats, right? It takes a couple of days for it to come out on NBA.com, but even this game, you can just tell like we really struggle with Nerlens Noel out there, him being able to control the paint. He's struggling just like keeping people out of the paint. He had like one nice block. I guess it was second quarter maybe, but he's really struggling. So if you go back to the last game, to like even the Memphis Grizzlies game, I mean, like he contested 8 shots and basically and he allowed 7 field goals out of 8 shots. So
that's
they
crazy.
shoot 90% against them essentially.
Yeesh.
And it's like, yeah, that's really bad. I mean, compared to Mitchell Robinson, the previous game, like he contested 21 shots and only allowed 5 field goals. That's like 24%.
That's crazy.
And it's like basically on the defensive end, it's really R.J. Barrett, Mitch, and then Randle carry the load on the defensive end for this team. And but Nerlens is the other person that's supposed to be helping carry the load, and he's just like, I mean, he's just not effective at all.
Yeah, this was one of those games where I was just like, I would like to see Sims, because you really felt it when Mitch went out, like really felt it. And one thing first of all, the rebounding, right? Nerlens Noel, 1 rebound in 23 minutes is crazy. But I get it, AD's a load, but it's a bad matchup for him. It's straight up a bad matchup for him. So I feel like we needed a bigger guy in Sims to combat whatever Nerlens Noel was not giving us. -15 on the night for Nerlens Noel, lowest plus minus on the team, surprisingly. Or not surprisingly.
Yeah, so like I mean, he's one person I really hope, like, if the front office is smart, I mean, the contract is not that crazy. They need to just find a way to get rid of him. But it's honestly, when I found out LeBron was playing this game, I was shook for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was like, that lead is not safe, And so you figured they were going to pick it up in the second half, especially on the defensive end, and then he was probably going to take control of the game on the offense, and that's what he did. Just took control, picked us apart, and even when he wasn't picking us apart, I mean, he was getting second chance points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it was just, the way he just, he imposes his will on the game is just like, it's insane. And he's like the smartest dude I've ever seen.
He's very smart,
like on
man.
a basketball court, man.
Sheesh.
He like knows all the calls. Remember when R.J. Barrett incidentally kind of like touched the ball?
Yeah, I feel like he goaded him into it. Like, I feel like he saw RJ was out of bounds and threw the ball into him to get the technical. And we got lucky because Malik missed the technical foul. But
yeah, yep.
I felt like he was
You know what's really crazy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. Go. What were you saying?
No, I was just reading the same point. It just seems like he saw RJ running out of bounds. Let me just throw the ball off of him to see if we can get an extra shot. And like, I just feel like his mind was just thinking that quickly.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And then on top of that, I was thinking, like, who the hell knows even these obscure rules? Even there's NBA players that don't even know these obscure rules because it's only a technical. What did they say? It's only a technical, like, what,
Under
2 minutes to go?
Under 2 minutes, yeah.
Under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so he just, like, knows all these obscure rules that no one else knows. And it's just like
it's ridiculous.
It was, but,
man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, honestly, I wasn't, too disappointed. I just don't know what they're going to do. I mean, we're just not a very good team, like you were saying, unfortunately. And I don't know if they have a lot of. They've kind of they've backed themselves into a corner because of the way Tibbs like to play, the way his rotations are, him not liking to play the young guys. So right now the options aren't even there. So even if you start playing the young guys, you're gonna have to be willing to kind of go through like 2 weeks, maybe a week of ugly basketball at least.
Right, to get them up to
until
speed.
they get comfortable. Yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do. But thanks for taking my call. That's pretty much what I got.
All right, man. Yo, shout out to Reaper, man. Whew. Thanks for calling. Gunshots to Reaper, man. Calling in on this night, man. And shout out to everybody else who's rocking with us on the KOT show on this midnight. Right after the game, you already know what to do. If you want to call, I'll show you the number real quick. But yeah, this is one of those nights, man. This is one of those nights. So yep. You already see the number right down there. I'm sorry, I got the wrong screen for you. 319-527-6241 if you want to call in. Next caller up, we have Jose.
What's up, Jay Ellis? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm doing all right, considering.
Yeah, it's frustrating because it's just another winnable game flipped. I as like the last caller said, and I heard Mr. Braun was going to be playing. I was kind of scared, like I were probably going to get blown out, even though they're a bad team, but they haven't really had all their players together all year long. But
right.
it was winnable. It was winnable. We're up by 21 and we still lose the game. I mean, it's just a lot of. I'm not on the fire Tibbs bandwagon, but there was a lot of bad coaching during this game. I mean, you had RJ who's hot in the first quarter, and he pulls him out with like 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Randle had a better second quarter than he did the first quarter, but Randle plays the whole first quarter. I don't get when you have a guy who's on fire. He literally like just hit a three. Then there's a timeout and RJ's on the bench. And you have a guy who's hot. You leave him in. If you want to, rest him in the beginning of the second quarter.
Good point.
You let the guy cook.
Very good point.
But that's one of the first. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, why are you taking him out? That's the first bad move, and then give the other coach, some credit. He made adjustments in the third quarter. We didn't.
Yeah.
They put, LeBron on RJ, try to slow him down. RJ had 3 shot attempts in the whole third quarter. You would think that they would make plays to, do a pick and roll or something to get LeBron off of RJ, get RJ some shots, or run the ball through RJ offensively. That's what was working.
I was thinking the same thing.
But nope. You don't run the offense through RJ. You instead go back to ISO ball, something that hasn't worked all year long, and go back to Randle ISOing at the top of the key. It hasn't worked. Why are we doing things over and over again that don't work? It's like what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting something different?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But again, I'm not on the fire Tibbs. I want adjustments.
I feel you.
Monk. What did Monk have? 18 points to our 13 in the third quarter?
Didn't make
Where
an
was
adjustment.
the adjustment on Monk?
Didn't make an adjustment until the fourth quarter. To the fourth quarter. He just let him roll the whole third quarter. And it's like, bro.
Just let Monk keep shooting. Like, no adjustment. It doesn't make any sense. It's just Vogel made adjustments. Tibbs did it. That's what lost us the game. We could point at a bunch of other things. We missed 10 free throws.
Yep.
Again, why all of a sudden we missing all these free throws? We lose by 6, 7 points.
That's the
we
game.
Missed 10 free throws.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly. But kudos to RJ hitting that clutch 3 at the end of the fourth quarter. Could have been another game winner on RJ's belt, but we give it back to them. And Burks inbounding. Come on, coach.
Yeah.
How many times are we gonna let Burks inbound and turn over the ball before we stop letting Burks inbound the ball?
Yo.
It doesn't work.
It never works.
I don't know what we're gonna do with Burks. I like Burks. I'm kind of hoping he's gone at the trade deadline. I mean, he missed a wide open 3-pointer too. I know that he gives us other things.
Yeah.
But he's just in this funk, and Quickly's in his funk. I don't know what's going on. I think Grimes may have hit a rookie wall, or he's just exhausted from the speed up on the NBA and the minutes, because you see all of his shots are short.
Yeah.
He looks tired.
Yeah. I feel he'll get a bit together, girl. He's gonna have those games. I feel like Grimes, but I agree with you.
I like Grimes.
I know you do.
I still like him in there for the defense.
I know you do. Grimes Hive is strong out here in Knicks Nation.
Yeah, I like Grimes a lot. His shots are short. He might be tired, and I don't know. Lack of coaching adjustments is what really lost us the game. It's frustrating.
Yeah, man.
It's who we are this year.
Super frustrating, man. Good call, man. Thanks for calling, Jose. You made a lot of good points.
Hey.
A lot of good points.
Thank
man.
you.
Definitely.
Appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate it. We need the therapy.
Shoot, man. Y'all my therapy at this point. Shoot. We need each other.
Definitely.
Oh man, but kudos. Oh man, gunshots for Jose. But he hit the nail on the head with a lot of those points. Missed free throws was a point of contention. The lack of adjustments from the coach was a point of contention as well. Waited way too long to adjust to Malik Monk, giving us 18 in the third quarter alone. Third quarter of doom got us. Even the RJ Barrett thing, cooling off RJ Barrett, not riding the hot hand, also another good point. Also, I feel like RJ didn't really get the ball until like 5 minutes into that third quarter of just straight up going ISO and watching it not work for a huge chunk of time. Like we just, once again, Tibbs just seems a little bit too slow to make adjustments, and we need to make these adjustments a lot quicker. So I can definitely see this saying, you know what, we got our coach. This loss, the team didn't play with the same pace, but Tibbs' third quarter coaching had a lot to do with what was happening today, for sure. Also, I know I'm gonna get you in a second, Fritz, but I also want to there's been some news that's been sputtering around Knicks Nation. Shout out to Ryan G. I posted some video about Ryan G. He was talking about some of the news that's been updated, that's been going around these Knicks streets. First and foremost, it seems like the Knicks and the Sacramento Kings are kind of playing chicken, right? Seems like they're playing chicken. We heard that Sacramento last season, the Sacramento Kings were interested in Julius Randle. Then shout out to Raw. He kind of pointed this out on this channel that the Sacramento Kings actually told the agent, De'Aaron's agent, that they were not looking to trade him, that they're looking to keep him. So that went out. That news went out, and that's not even recent news. That news happened when I checked it. That news happened on January 13th. Then we saw some news that said that the Knicks have some interest in De'Aaron Fox. And both of these guys are kind of like underachievers right now this season. So I like I said, we always said in this channel, this could make a lot of sense for both teams. If they banking on how Randle's playing today, they might be encouraged because he had a really first half of where he played like last season's version of Randle. So they might like that. And so who knows? But at this time, the Sacramento Kings could be posturing. They could exactly be posturing. They could be posturing and just kind of throwing news out there to drive up the price and try and see what else can get them more from the Knicks. So that can definitely be a certain thing that's happening out there. But keep an eye on that. But at this point, will Julius Randle be moved by deadline? I'm not sure. I kind of feel like it might be leaning towards no. I'm not sure. But that's just me guessing. Shout out to Into the Knicks first, and also shout out to Be Civilized. I saw you earlier. And other news, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware now that Dallas Mavericks is also seem like they have no interest in trading Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a guy that's been the Knicks have been checking out. You already know his ties with Leon Rose, CAA, Rick Brunson, and everybody here in the New York Knicks. So, and you already know that Dallas Mavericks, they're down right now. They're down Tim Hardaway Jr. Jalen Brunson is actually playing kind of a two-guard role. And I actually seen a video today of Mark Cuban saying that Jalen Brunson is their most consistent player, and they're definitely trying to keep him. So to me, like, this news I do believe to be true since they're in a playoff hunt. I don't think they're going to try to move Jalen Brunson, and they're going to try to extend him or something during the offseason. So if the Knicks order to get him, it'll have to be in the offseason. I don't see the Knicks getting him mid-season like some of you guys want. So that's something else to look forward to. Also in big news, man, I seen some guys talking about Julius Randle unfollowing the New York Knicks on Instagram. I seen some of that stuff happen. Was he really following beforehand? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what to think of that. I don't really want to read too much into it right now. I know some guys feel like it's a precursor because that he's leaving, but I don't know, man. I don't really know what to make of it. It could be something, or it could be nothing. I really don't know. I really don't know. I just know when I really feel solid about something, it's when I see it reported by the guys like Shams, by guys like Ian, by guys like Woj, Mark Stein. When I see those guys kind of report certain things, then I'll take it a lot pretty serious. All right, so Julius Randle unfollowing Knicks on Twitter. I don't know. I'm not putting too much weight into that at this point. The other news that's been peeking out, and this is a rumor, Mark Berman reported this, so you already know, kind of with a grain of salt. Mark Berman reported that the Knicks are trying to move Kemba Walker. I'm not gonna lie, it makes sense to me. If you've seen the way Kemba Walker's been playing over the last few games, if you see the way his minutes have been dwindling down, if you also take in consideration that Derrick Rose is coming back after the All-Star break, I can see why the Knicks would move on from Kemba Walker and try to get something for him. What is his value, though? I can't see us getting much more than a second-round pick for Kemba Walker, if anything, at this moment, or teams just waiting for us to buy him out and then take him off the market that way. So, it just seems far-fetched to me. Yeah, some teams might take a chance on him just because of what he did in December. You know, so keep an eye out for that. But if there's anything, I'm not sure. It seems like Tom loves Alec Burks. Right now, I don't know. It seems like Kemba Walker might be gone. All the news is Alec Burks will only be gone if they can get rid of another veteran at the same time, and they don't seem to just want him to just be gone just for the sake of him being gone and creating minutes for Cam Reddish. That's the news that's been also out. So, I'm not sure the likelihood of him leaving as well, but I know my gut is telling me right now that Kemba is gone. That's for sure. These other guys might be an asterisk, but I still kind of believe the more we lose, the more likely more moves will be made, and we lost a winnable game today against these Lakers. So I feel like that might be pushing the needle towards selling, in my mind. But that could just be my mind. I'm still guessing. The East is still really tight, so they might still try. You know what? Let's make the play and get that 10 spot and see what happens. They might try that route, but I don't think that's at this moment. I don't even know. I'm not feeling that route, man. I don't think that's the proper route to go. All right. Let's salute to Knicks Nation. Salute to everybody that chat. Shout out to Roddy, Shannon, D, Nice, Craig Ward, B Civilized, B Willis, into the Knicks verse. Agrides Laureano, Jeff Gooderston. Everybody else is rocking the KOT show. Like I said, the good thing is out today is RJ Barrett is looking like he will be the man. He's looking like he's taking that next step, expounding his game, finishing at the rim with gusto. He has the passing going. He's hitting shots today. You already see the shots are going to be the key to unlocking RJ. I saw some nice separation moves in the mid range. Right, he did like a nice little step back. He missed it, but the knock on him was he couldn't dribble. And he couldn't create good enough separations on his moves to even get that step back going. But so that separation that he's getting is a good sign from RJ that he can, take that next step into being the man and creating off the dribble, because he's gonna need that to unlock the RJ of the next level. And you already see he has his defensive instincts are good as well. And he saw some footwork in the post that he did on Westbrook. So all good things from RJ Barrett today. Shout out to RJ Barrett, did his thing, and keep climbing, keep climbing, King, keep climbing, because next season's RJ is gonna be very dangerous, extremely dangerous. All right. I know we got Fritz. I know Fritz wants to say something. Fritz, let us know what your thoughts are.
Hey, what's up, JL?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, today was the 500. That was always the magic number for me for the season. Like, once you hit 500, you could start changing your mindset.
Right.
My thing was there are certain players that Tibbs is that are situational, and there was definitely situations today, and he just did not. He just did not use his bench correctly. I just didn't get it. Like, you saw immediately out of the third quarter, Kemba 3 possessions in.
Yeah.
You knew he needed to get pulled out.
Yeah.
3 possessions in, and he kept him in there. I know he doesn't trust McBride, but the problem with McBride when he was playing before was more on the offensive end. All you need to stop the bleeding, and now that if you just put him in just for a couple minutes, stop bleeding, and then you can assess from there, that would have made sense. But you just let it go on. I think he has a vendetta against Kemba, and it's just like I just almost thought it was intentional.
You thought he left him in there just to make an example of him?
And I was like, wow. Like, 3 possessions in. He's like, any coach would have pulled him out. 3 possessions. The way that he treats Obi, and he lets those 3 possessions go by, I mean, Kemba was lost.
Yeah, man.
Like, Kemba was lost on those possessions. Also, second half got real physical. And, like, with as physical as it was, that was a situation for Cam Reddish. 6'8", long arms, probably the only person who could probably handle LeBron on the move. Not once.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody can handle LeBron.
I'm not saying
personally, right?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about, hey, it was his time to shine. There's certain times where you just play a guy for just a couple minutes, and that's where you could have used him for a couple minutes in some of the spots. When LeBron was just at will, like, we need someone who can physically at least stay in him.
Yeah.
So I just didn't think the situational. When you said situational, no, you're just buried.
No, you're done.
And I just thought that it was just poor use. It was just poor use.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. You and Reaper put the nail on the head, man. Like I understand he doesn't trust some of these guys, but he still needs to throw them in 2 or 3 minutes a game to not completely kill their offense. Their confidence. And guys like McBride, I do like that how they're utilizing him in the G League. So I feel like he might get his little swagger back. So it might be time when things like that happen in third quarter and we're getting smacked and Malik is dropping 18 points. Like try something else quicker. Try McBride. Let him see if he got it again, because he had one bad game. He's banished to the bench forever. It's kind of crazy. He never got a shot again after that.
Yeah. Of course, I just wanted to talk about a couple of trade things. I know you said I came away with a different there was an interview with who was it, from De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And De'Aaron Fox, he seemed like he got a whole different idea, because he was. I think what came from, they told him that he wasn't going to be traded for Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons, for a while, they were just openly talking about 50 in Sacramento, like it was going to happen. It just, they just didn't know the combinations. So I think they went back to him and said, hey, we want to. They told him something, but they told everybody else, hey, we want to build around De'Aaron and Halliburton.
You know what?
When they just interviewed him a couple days ago, he said, I talked to the front office and they told me what they need to tell me. Yeah, and he didn't say they were keeping me.
Yeah, you know what? I know the video you're talking about, and I saw that video. And the thing that I came away with when watching that video of the reporter asking De'Aaron Fox about trade rumors was there was mixed signals being given. That's what I came away with. Cause I think that's what he pretty much was saying. So you feel like, and I think they actually said that phrase verbatim. I don't remember which one it was De'Aaron Fox or the reporter. And De'Aaron Fox kind of agreed, like, so did you feel like there's being mixed signals? He was kind of like, yeah, basically. So that could also be something to think about. So who knows what's gonna happen with De'Aaron Fox, or where he's gonna be at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
It's something to look at. It's certainly something to look at. I'm still not sure where Julius Randle ends up.
Yeah.
Today was one of those games where he gave a lot of effort in that first half, man. I was really happy. I was about to count 3 games in a row.
Those passes, crispy. Those passes, those were like elite point guard passes. I mean, he was sharp in that first half.
Right.
In the third half, it was like he wanted to take over in that third. I don't know if he just wanted to one up Davis or something.
He has a personal vendetta against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because he was a lot more selfish in the third. The dribbling came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, jumping before you know where you're gonna land.
Right.
You know.
No, I agree.
That
yeah,
was happening in the third quarter.
Definitely agree, man. Definitely agree, man.
So,
he wanted it, but yeah. Thanks for calling though, Fritz. I'll call
oh, sure, no problem.
Not calling. Well, thanks for talking to us, man.
Sure.
All right. Shout out to Fritz, the best mind in the game. All right, shout out to my guy Fritz. Shout out to Knicks Nation. Everybody's rocking the KOT show at this hour. Shout out to B Willis, B Civilized, Don Hines, Graffa, and everybody else was rocking with the KOT show. J Ellis, Jay got 2 bodies on that dunk. Who got 2 bodies on that? Which dunk you talking about, B Willis? Which dunk you talking about? Oh, you talking about the RJ dunk on the fast break was the play of the game. That dunk was great. Woo! Boy. Yeah, RJ was a beast today, man. Yeah, if you pissed about this season, I know if guys are pissed about this season. If you're pissed about this season, there's certain things you can come away with at the end of the season. One of those is RJ Barrett is real. That's 1. 2, Mitchell Robinson is also real. After having a slow start, Mitchell Robinson is turning into a man, and he's battling. So he's also real. 3, Grimes is going to be okay. All right? Grimes is going to be okay. So there's certain things that's going on with Knicks Nation. And you actually still have a pretty decent young core. I know we're used to it right now, but our young core is there's something there, man. We have a pretty nice young core. And the best young core that we have in a while, between OB and IQ and Mitch and RJ, a lot to look forward to. Next caller up, I see we got my guy Tell him on the phone. Tell him what's going on, man. Testing.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Jay Ellis?
What's going on?
Oh my goodness. So boom. I totally just snapped at somebody after the game. They were like, "Oh, well, at least you guys kept it close." I was like, "No, we had a 20-point lead."
No, exactly.
I was so upset.
Facts.
I was so upset. They don't understand. We were up 20-21.
Facts.
They don't understand that, again, the Deuce did not get loose. They don't understand that, again, Cam Reddish got traded for a first-round pick to chill on the bench and dap people up after the game. They don't understand that Nerlens Noel, whose knee has been done since before the season started, and the organization been keeping it on the low, again went out there and was trash. Meanwhile, Afro Man, who every chance he gets an alley-oop, Mr. Sims, again, rode the bench. They don't understand that for once, the starters came out looking amazing.
Yeah.
Made no sense. I was like, whoa, look at how fast the starters are moving.
Yeah.
The pace, amazing. Where's this been? Julius Randle was a powerful point forward. First time we've seen this in months.
Mm-hmm.
He was pushing like, ooh, I hate the Lakers. They traded me so that they could bring in LeBron. They got rid of me, whatever. Let me get some revenge. All of it went away in the third quarter. All of it. Oh, the energy just zapped out. The energy zapped away. I'm looking at some of these minutes. It just doesn't make any sense. IQ, 5 minutes. Why? Obi, 12 minutes. Why? Optimus Grimes, 14 minutes. Why? Now, Grimes didn't shoot well, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
I don't care. There's not enough minutes. Because when you look at the game, you see the love affair the coach has with Burks.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, Burks could do anything, and he'll still get a chance to play inbound from the side, mess up. It's okay. He'll still get a chance to play, right?
Right.
But some of these young guys, they don't get a chance to make mistakes and grow and develop. And when you look at last year's Thibs team and this year's Thibs team, right? Both years with the Knicks, we always needed somebody to defend, right? When somebody gets hot, we needed somebody to clamp up, lock up. Well, we have those two guys, McBride and Reddish now, and even Grimes. That's three guys. And they don't get those chances to slow other teams down. Monk in that third quarter annihilated us.
Yeah, man.
We
that was the
needed
game.
the Deuce to get loose, or
That was the
Reddish, or
game.
Grimes to match up on Monk right there. We needed it, and we didn't have that. We had Fournier and Walker. What is that, bro?
Yeah, man.
What is that?
Yeah. They killed us.
Man.
They
Yo,
killed us.
I cannot accept losing winnable games. The Lakers suck. This was a winnable game.
Definitely.
The Lakers did not bring it tonight. We did everything we could in that second half, specifically in that third quarter, to lose this game. That is why I'm so upset. So, Ellis, I want to know two things. Number one. Oh, hold on. Shout out to R.J. Barrett. Can we show R.J. Barrett some love?
Absolutely.
Shout out to R.J. Barrett. Jesus Christ.
Please.
Jesus Christ. He
Get
had
that
me
game
hyped.
love.
He had me hyped
Absolutely.
all game long. Shout out to R.J. Barrett. And I'm going to give Julius Randle some love because he did play good, even though started to see certain stuff from the third quarter
Yeah,
that
third quarter.
you know, I didn't
third
like
quarter.
the ISO,
Yeah.
the questionable mid-range contested jumpers. Like,
Yeah.
oh, man, he's kind of going away from what was working. But
Yeah.
it's okay.
The effort was there.
I
The
wanna
effort was
know-
there. The body language was there.
The effort was there, exactly. The effort was there, and the effort has been questionable because, you know, some fans who follow other teams, they be like, yo, Knicks fans, y'all be bugging. They don't understand. He's not going hard for us every game.
Yeah.
They really won't get it. They'll just look at the box score. Oh, he had a good box score. What are you talking about? Good
Yeah.
stat line. They don't get that the energy and the effort and the hustle is not always there from him.
Yep.
He's sometimes checking out mentally. Whatever the problem could be, it ain't our problem.
Nope.
We want to move in a different direction if that's what he wants to do consistently. But here's what I want to know, J. Ellis.
Mhm.
I want to know third quarter, which is where, you know, we basically lost the game, and overtime. What would you have done differently? All of us, you know, in retrospect, would have done things a lot differently. All year we've been dealing with a coach that, you know, none of us like his decisions.
Nah.
What would you have done differently in the third quarter and overtime?
Oh man! First of all, I would have took Kemba Walker out way faster in the third quarter.
Okay. In the third quarter. All right, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the first thing. Like that's the first thing. I would have took
Mhm.
Kemba Walker out way faster, even if it wasn't
Mhm.
IQ, because IQ had a horrible first half. Maybe it would be. Maybe that would be a
Mhm.
time to try McBride. Put McBride on and see how that goes. But bare minimum,
Okay.
I would have probably went to IQ or something else in that first quarter. I would have made a lineup change. Also,
Mhm.
I would have instructed Randle not to play iso ball anymore after it didn't work for the first 20 times in the
Yeah.
third in the second quarter. Like,
Yeah.
To me, those are the two main things that really. And then also, I would have instructed our team to push the pace. The thing that was
Yes,
working
yes.
in the first
Yes.
half was we were pushing
Yes.
on makes
Pushing the pace.
and misses. We had
Yes.
we had how many? We had how many? I think we
I
had
think
19.
you said 19 in the first half, I believe.
Yeah, we've had 19 fast break points in the first half alone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jalen. 19 assists. I don't know.
19
the fast break
assists.
points.
I'm sorry. But anyway,
Okay.
But we did not push the pace. We did not push the pace in the first half. We didn't have like the go-ahead outlet pass. We reverted to old
Yeah.
habits of trotting the ball out.
Yes.
And
yes,
that was the
yes.
biggest difference to me in that third quarter.
Yeah.
So like tips, even if you're crazy and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
trotting the same first team out that I did before because it
Mhm.
worked in the first half and I've seen it, you have to bare minimum say push the pace. Do what you push the
Mhm.
pace.
Yes.
Stop trotting Randall
Mhm.
because you were trotting in the second half in that third quarter, and that's a
Mhm.
lot of reason why it's working. So taking out Kemba Walker faster, pushing the pace.
Yeah.
Those are the two main things I think I would have done. And then like maybe even putting Grimes in for Evan Fournier and stuff like that when things weren't working. Bare minimum.
But But J. Ellis, what about overtime? Game is basically 0-0. Jump ball. I feel like both teams, their offense was bad for like the first 2 minutes of the 5-minute overtime. And then, Fournier saved something that he probably shouldn't have that led to a big LeBron dunk. What would you have done in OT that would have kind of, got us a better result?
OT is like a different. It's kind of like a different situation. I do feel like there was like a few bad. There was like mental breaks in OT. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't feel like I don't feel like it was necessarily the coaching. It was more Evan Fournier, saving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Saving the
like
ball in our
right.
saving the ball on a tip that resulted in a fast break for LeBron James. That was a mental break. RJ had some.
Right.
We was running the ball through. We was running the game through RJ a lot more in that OT. So
Yes, we were.
So and we got a couple of nice looks. He made a good decision giving Mitch the ball. When he seemed like to be a mismatch, but Mitch missed the ball. Like
Right.
So I don't know if I would have made
which is rare.
Right, which is rare. Like maybe
considering Noel, Noel always drops that. You know what I'm saying?
It's Noel cutting Noel's minutes. Okay, that's another thing.
Uh-huh.
Then I would have definitely tried. I would have taken out Noel because Noel was getting cooked. I would have tried
23
Sims.
minutes. I'm looking at the numbers.
Yeah, I would have tried
today.
Sims. I would have tried Sims. I would have went to Sims. That was one of the other biggest things I think I would have tried. McBride, Sims, and Grimes getting a little bit more time.
The reality is, I hate to be the Grim Reaper because I love being optimistic and happy and hoping for the best. The reality is, we're not gonna be seeing Sims. The Deuce ain't gonna be getting loose. Cam ain't never gonna get no chance. You know what I'm saying? That's what the reality is. Randall's not getting traded. You know what I'm saying? As much as we may want him to, they'd rather, probably make a trade to help build around him than move him. But,
right.
It is what it is. Super duper tough L, man.
Yeah,
I'm sad, I'm down, I'm out, but I'm still ready to fight. I still feel like the Lakers got lucky.
Yeah.
I still feel like they got lucky.
Yeah.
Ooh, because I'm looking at some of these numbers. Monk is all they had is help. Westbrook was basically on our team tonight.
Yeah, man.
Nobody else really stepped up for them as far as, role players making a crucial play.
Nope.
Like, for example, last game against the Grizzlies, we got slaughtered on the glass and on loose balls. We ain't really get slaughtered on loose balls this game, man, to be honest.
Nah, we beat we won the rebound game despite Noel's atrocious rebounding numbers. We got a lot of the 50-50 balls, but we just made a few mental mistakes. We had some coaching mistakes as well, and that was a goal game for us, really.
I got a question, J. Ellis.
What's
Did
up?
you see that technical foul from Julius Randle?
Man,
Bruh.
bruh pick for today. Bruh pick. For guys who don't know, bruh picks are usually the worst plays of the week. It don't even have to be plays sometimes. It's just something dumb it could be something dumb that even happens in life. But today, worst play of the game, Julius Randle catching a technical on the bench. And the funny thing is, I felt like the coach saw it coming and tried to save Randle from himself and started to bench Randle once he started to complain. And then he sits down and I don't know why. I think I might have telekinesis or something telling because I felt like he was gonna get it anyway. Because this player's like Rasheed Wallace back in the day, where the coach is bringing him back to the bench and feels like he's gonna get technical, he gets louder as he's going to the bench and gets even more boisterous, and he catches that technical anyway. And the way Randall's been acting lately, I was like, yo, Randall's about to get this tech going to the bench. Randall's about to get this tech going to the bench. And lo and behold, this guy gets the tweet.
Bruh.
So yeah, bro, pick for me. Randall get a tech on the bench. And yeah.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah, man. Overtime. That tech matter. I don't know. That could have changed things. Who knows?
Could have changed things.
Who knows?
And J. Ellis, again, free throws, man. Why? Why can't we just take the free points?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know,
free
man.
throws, man.
This is yeah.
Jesus
Another
Christ.
one. We had missed 10 free throws By the time the fourth quarter hit, and that's the ball game as well. Free throws, adjustments, techs.
Fundamentals. What's up with our fundamentals?
Winnable,
man. Inbounds plays.
Yeah.
You know,
plays
out of timeouts.
Winnable.
We're bad at these normal, basic stuff.
Facts, man. All things that we need to change, man. This is a winnable game. Definitely winnable.
It really was.
Which is why it hurt.
It really was. And that's why I still want smoke with them Lakers. They lucky they not on the schedule. They lucky. They lucky we're not seeing them till next year. Oh, I wish this was a series.
Yeah,
at
man.
least a back-to-back. At least.
Yeah,
man. Oh,
man.
man. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Jay Ellis. I'm looking at the schedule. You ready? Here we go.
There you go.
At Utah Monday, on a back-to-back Tuesday at Denver.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Thursday at Warriors. Then at Blazers.
Yeah.
4 games at home. OKC, Nets, Heat, Sixers. Then on the road, Sixers, Suns, Clippers, Kings, Mavs, Grizzlies, Nets. Not looking good.
Yeah.
We need it tonight.
We definitely need it tonight. We definitely need it tonight.
Not looking good. I'm going to leave on a high note, though. Brooklyn Nets, 7
Food.
straight L's. What up?
Food.
Yeah, 7 straight L's.
Let's go.
Hey. James Harden dipping. Woo!
Yeah, man.
James Harden dipping.
Let's go.
Woo!
Nah.
Hey,
Come on.
Ellis,
go ahead.
keep cooking. We smoking on that Brooklyn Nets pack. LeBron got lucky.
Yeah, man.
Let's go Knicks, man.
Let's go Knicks. Shout out to my guy. Tell him who always gives the energy. Yeah, man. I was going to allude to the schedule coming up. Like I said plenty of times, we have the second hardest schedule remaining out of anyone in the NBA. Ironically, man, it's crazy. Tell him a good sub co-host. Yeah, man. Tell him got some personality, man. Tell him got some personality for sure, yo. Shoot. Tell him might be like one of the secret hosts one day. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But listen, man. These Knicks. It's funny. We might need to. It's a possibility, guys, that we might be having to look at this draft for real. Us being having the second hardest road schedule left, and us being 5 games under 500, we actually might be low key looking at like a top 5 pick, like low key, like really, like seriously. So keep that in mind, man. Like we might, cause usually February comes. And depending on the record, you might skate by the draft, but we might have to seriously look at the draft and like get draft guys here for real to break down what's going on in the draft. All right, so keep an eye on that. But shout out to you guys, shout out to Knicks Nation. Good show, guys. Thanks for calling in. Pray for me, guys. I'm just pray for me. All right, cause listen, next week is gonna be crazy. My job is crazy next week. All right. They are throwing everything at your boy this next week as far as workload. And on top of that, the Knicks schedule is also a crazy workload. So pray for me next week because like Tellum said, we have a back-to-back game on the West Coast. So there's going to be a lot of very late post games. So keep an eye on that. And I know my guy Ryan G is gonna be with me, so we're gonna see a lot of 1 a.m. post games next week. So tune in for that. All right. Shout out to all the So shout out to everybody who's rocking the KOT show. Next game will be, I think Monday at Utah. So I'll see you guys Monday after the game. It's a 9:00 game, so I will see you guys later tonight. All right. Cool. And as always, fellas, shout out to Fubu TV too. For the guys who don't know, I thought Fubu would be a nice kind of collaboration for the Knicks fans to kind of give you some value because I already know Comcast is giving a lot of Knicks fans some problems. Fubu, if you go with Fubu TV, it is a paid service, but there is no contracts. They don't black out Knicks games. And you should be able to get them in New York, Connecticut, or wherever, all right? So definitely check out Fubu TV. The link is in the description. And also, I'm pretty sure that Fritz is putting the link in the chat as well if you go to Fubu TV. So not only if you go for Fubu TV, you'll watch some Knicks games, but you also be helping us out here at the KOT show. Putting money in our pockets to help keep these things going, keep the lights on, pay writers and subscriptions and everything else. So shout out to everybody here, and shout out to everybody who's contributed and to the KOT show and our ascension. All right, that is our show. Thanks you guys for watching, and as always,
shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here, all right? That is our show. We are out of here. See you Monday. Peace.